the station crew. Enjoy your stay.
Alright, welcome again to Space Station 14. This will be about a round taking place on Wizard's Den Lizard server. So, I usually play a lot of engineering. And, you know, usually you get some calm shifts. Maybe you have to repair one bomb or two. Maybe you have a crisis with atmospherics. But sometimes you get these shifts which are, let's say, exhausting. Anyway, I'll be fast forwarding through the power setup. It will be important to just remember later that we're using a Singularity. That's basically, it'll come up later. And also that we have a Protolate. We'll be acquiring some advanced tools midway through the round. I won't be showing that stuff off because it's not really relevant. Anyway, as you can see, we are having a small lesson on AME operations. When we're wrapping up our power setup right now, since we can just chill around. When, soon-ish, should be our first hint of things to come. Ahem. Damn, this took a while. I think it took 20 minutes for all this power setup to happen. Anyway, we get our first hint of things to come. Tritium leak in the bar. Now, I'm concerned because we didn't get any message about a gas leak. So we head on over there. I grab a scrubber on the way. When we have a smoker in the house, right in the spicy air.
Attention.
Thankfully, it hasn't lighted up. But it's only a matter of time.
In 2125, I was on a mining colony on Mars. Just a quiet backwater facility among the stars. And then one day I was minding my own business. I was mining my own ore. And there he was, space asshole, in a truck flying off the ridge. Space asshole.
There it goes. After ignoring our warnings, and running face first into Tritium, we are now having to deal with quite a crisis. Anyway, I try to avoid getting healed, space the area so we contain the damage a bit. I really do feel like a firefighter in this moment, having to rush in to carry the bodies. Anyway, as you can see, I've been spacing areas, but it's not been helping much. So the main outbreak is inside there. And we're getting reports of people ashing.
Just a place where I could earn myself a day's pay without being smoked. But every time
I think the problem is that there's still a lit cigar in there, but it'll be much worse than just a lit cigar.
space asshole, hammer swinging, buildings falling down.
Anyway, at this point I try and get people to just close off Botany forever, because I really don't want to deal with this. And as you see, it doesn't seem like it's spacing that much.
I am left alive to tell the tale of space. A soul
Now more engineers are converging on scene, and we have a paramedic helping us out.
comes out of nowhere to destroy space asshole. Phantom carnage is all he can enjoy. The space asshole in a truck flying off the ridge.
Thankfully, our engineering suits are slightly resistant. They're quite resistant to fire. They're just not immune to it. Also, nobody from atmospheric is here, so they can't use the easy atmospheric fire suit.
Space asshole.
Anyway, now we realize
The space asshole.
that something is making tritium in Botany. Because it's not... the fire is not dying.
He's the space asshole.
Anyway, also by double RCDing the same tile, we kind of cut power to the place, but that's neither here nor there. So, we now have to go in the fire and start de-planting plants manually, because for some reason they're not burning up or dying from the extreme heat or the spacing or anything. So we grab a shovel. Where the engineers are also going to be going around scavenging for shovels. And we start removing plants. Even though we're trying to be careful, we're still taking damage, quite a lot of damage actually. And we still haven't gotten the right plant. Anyway, the fire really hurts us. When the paramedic tries to hit us with a water bottle, but instead punches us to crit. Anyway, the engineers will be finishing up the repairs while I stay in a med. Apparently the plan... Also, there's a new keys on board, but that's not important. The plan from Botany apparently was to use this Tritium plant to make infinite money, apparently. What you should be paying attention to is that a botanist just said that a Botany self-defense force go, which will come up later. Anyway, the SMES array over there is starting to drain, which means we have too low power. And there's multiple reasons for that. We'll be figuring them out in real time. First hint, the tag isn't doing any power. Also, usually, I don't know why, but for some reason the first instinct of engineers when there's not enough power is to think that there's a power sink. Even though that's really, really easy to detect. You just check the power console and look for the big red letter that says rogue power device connected or something. Anyway, we overdrive the AME for a little bit, so it heats up a lot better. Also, the tag over there, as you can see, is not done yet. It's not finished, so that's why it's not making any power. I'll be babysitting the AME. I think enough time has passed, so I try to dial down the AME. When a Singulus comes in, eats our AME, and steals all the fuel. So we call it out, Singulus. It will wander off, but it'll have a delayed impact. Anyway, so I go over there to check, see if what the reason was for the Singulus. Maybe there were wires cut, maybe there was enough power. Hard to say, really. So now we have to rush to get a tag up before all power drains. Since we don't have any power backup, and the AME is got eaten a bit. We're working on quite a limited budget. Also, as you can see, we now have advanced tools. It's not like we have a 10-minute battery bank. So I get a Super Pac-Man to make sure that if power does run out, we'll have something in atmospherics to get started with. Anyway, people are trying to finish up the AME, not the AME, the tag.
The emergency shuttle has been called.
As you can see, evac has been called. I go over to atmospherics to make sure that they do have the mix ready, and also to make sure that they have power. I'm too lazy to hack the door open. I do confirm that the mix is ready. Anyway, a bit later, I just now realized the fuel is missing for the AME. I think somebody's stolen it, but as we've seen in the footage, which I didn't notice at the time, the Singularity is the one that stole all the AME fuel. Anyway, with the tag up, it is the end of our power crisis, but it's not the end of the shift, is it? So while I was hanging out in engineering, I heard somebody die in the maintenance, literally right next to engineering. I tried to figure out what happened, why they're dead, and if I'm in danger. As evac is approaching, we don't really have the luxury of waiting around. And also, as you hear on the radio, somebody's talking about how there's hundreds of tomatoes in the halls, because Botany, after the Tritium disaster, has now made an army of killer tomatoes, or new key self-defense apparently. But as we make it back into engineering, we get spidered. We do a bit of melee combat. I think somebody else heard the spider, that's why I win this encounter. Here's an EpiPen to stop the bleeding on myself. And start dragging our friend here to medical. We make it to medical. The shuttle has arrived, but it's not at evac. It's apparently southwest, near the chapel. However, it's a bit of a surprise. You see, the Singulus, as you might have noticed, didn't eat the station, it just went into space. But it went to a particular direction in space. It went to the southwest, towards the chapel, who was on its own asteroid. And what I don't know at the time is that because of the Singulus eating the chapel, southwest evac isn't docked, it's in space somewhere, far off. Anyway, I heal myself mostly just so I can move a little bit faster. And use the Jaws of Life to make my way around because I'm too lazy to hack. After the Tripfire combat, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling like putting much effort. I was feeling like getting out of here. Anyway, we make our way. I check the map, and for a small moment I noticed what's happened. There's a big chunk of the chapel missing. Anyway, we make our way to space, trying to find where the shuttle is. I'm confident because I have a pack of cigarettes, so I can orient myself in space for a little bit, as I fling myself off into the void, or try to at least. So off I go. Thankfully, if somebody else passes by, was a jetpack, a fellow engineer, and helps me out. I'm thinking that they found the location of the shuttle and were ferrying people, but nope. Anyway, we find random debris over here, and think that if we can go back to engineering and make a mass scanner in the protolave, because we've been using the protolave for a bit, we can direct ourselves by flinging ourselves out of the singular hole, but we take too long and the shuttle leaves. So, as most people are stranded or lost into space, I say my last words that I like. Not these ones. I blame Botany. Usually the classic is to blame Psy, but not this time. Anyway, that was a pretty intense engineering round, the likes of which don't happen all that often. So yeah. Okay, bye. 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 Okay, bye.